This course is English oral presentation and discussion. The instructor is Emma Lee, and it is set in 2017 fall semester. First, we need to understand what are the characteristics of presentation. So-called an oral presentation means a structured, prepared, and speech-based statement. As to the purposes of a presentation, it is to give information and to communicate with your audience and to persuade your audience to accept your idea. To prepare a presentation, there are 4 steps that you must pay attention to. The first one is plan, the second one prepare, and the third one practice, and the fourth one present. Let's talk about the first one, plan. You need firstly to make sure the purposes of your presentation and who are the audiences of your presentation. In addition, you must pay attention to the length of the presentation that you must make. Also, in your planning, you must make sure what the audiences need and want to know in your presentation. And then, you must tailor the content of your presentation to the audience's level and interest. To prepare a presentation, firstly, you must know how to design a slide. The rule is KISS. KISS means to keep it short and simple. In addition, you must also use some visual aids, such as picture, images, colors, etc., to enrich your presentation and to make your presentation more lively. The most efficient way to release your anxiety for public speaking is to rehearse. Rehearsal is very important. That means to practice, and you must also know how to start your presentation. You must decide the way. There are 3 ways suggested. Number 1 is asking a question in your opening statement. Number 2, telling a story. Or number 3, offering a statement with statistic to impress your audiences. Here are the 4 ways to release your anxiety when you want to make a presentation. Number 1, to rehearse beforehand, that means to practice. And number 2, to memorize the logic instead of the script. Because if you memorize the script, your presentation must be very rigid. And number 3, when you go on board to give a presentation, firstly take a deep breath. And number 4, smile to your audiences. And then you can start your presentation. In presentation, here are the tips that you must pay attention to. Proper eye contact with the audiences. And nice expression, not too rigid one. And number 3, you must have proper body languages. Number 4, remember that you are speaking to the audiences, not to the slides. And number 5, main ideas emphasized by the end to impress your audiences. That means you must repeat your main ideas in your presentation so that your audience will remember what you say. By the end of the presentation, there must be Q&A time with tracked techniques. So-called tracked techniques refer to tracked, T-R-A-C-K. T refers to thank the questioner. R, that means repeat the question. A, that means answer the question. C, that means check the questioner if the answer is okay for him or her. And T, that means thank the questioner again. So by the end of the Q&A time, remember the tracked techniques to make your presentation wonderful and have a good ending. Week 1 is for course introduction, getting started, and copyright promoted. All the students must know what they need to do in this semester and what they are required to do every week. And week 2 and 3, the topic of the textbook is using your voice. You must know how to use your voice. And then the discussion topic is your privacy really private. We have one topic, and in class we can start our discussion, and also the students are required to do the presentation. Week 4 and 5, the topic is about the handling questions, and the discussion topic is winning everything. Week 6 and 7, the topic is basic techniques, and the discussion topic is the consumer always right? So we have different ideas that we must pay attention to during the presentation preparation, and we have different topics for discussion. Week 8 and 9, the main idea that we must pay attention is preparation of a mid presentation and the discussion, and these 2 weeks we must get ready for the coming midterm. And week 10 and 11, the topic, the main idea that we must memorize, we must practice and pay attention to is exploiting visuals. And the discussion topic in class is why blow the whistle, so that 2 weeks for midterm preparation, and you got to know what you must pay attention, and the 2 other weeks are for different topic and different discussion. Week 12 and 13, the main idea that we must learn for preparation is further techniques related, and the discussion topic is that entertainment. And week 14 and 15, the main idea to grasp for preparation is key language, what you must and what you need to emphasize. And the discussion topic is judging by appearances, so that we find that the different techniques we must pay attention and different topics that we must include in class discussion and presentation. Week 16 is time for preparation of the final presentation to discussion, and we must have a general review of what we discussed, what techniques we taught and discussed, and what are the topics that we discussed in class. And the last 2 weeks of this semester is for final presentation to discussion, and by then you will be told and informed how long your presentation must be and what the topics that you can include in your presentation, so that by the end you must have a very, very formal presentation as your final exam.